Okay, hit restart. So now I'm going to pull up all the things and check on what's happening here.
I'll pull up something.
I'm pulling up Twitch.
Well, the chat's clearly still working. Nameless is just going off.
As usual.
Now we're here and live again.
Okay, cool. Then let's go. We're back on.
Man, what a funky first song to start off our show with. That was fucking awesome, John.
Yeah, that was good.
Or whoever chose that. Well. What awesome music.
Yeah, that's some pretty sweet music, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had actually a hard time finding good trivia for this game. So I was like, no, you're probably thinking that was a Tim Fallon soundtrack, and you're right, it is a Tim Fallon soundtrack.
Yes!
This game features the likeness of an LA Lakers point guard and is endorsed by PepsiCo. And with that 10-second bit, we've covered the entire soundtrack of that game.
Oh, shit. Well.
Shit.
So, NBA game?
Can you read the trivia again?
Yeah, it's...
Or play that 10-second song again?
Tim Fallon soundtrack, and it features the likeness of an LA Lakers point guard, and it's endorsed by PepsiCo.
Cool.
And another hint, I don't know what position Kobe Bryant plays, but it's not him.
That's good, John. He would have been like 6. Yeah.
I'm not grabbing a card. I don't need to write anything down.
Yeah, you do, John. You need to write an apology.
This is how you get your points.
Guessing my own game.
Guess your own game.
All right, let's see some answers.
Let's see your answer.
All right. Let's see here. Waiting on Jesse's.
He's coming from way back.
What does he says? Okay. Jesse says Magic Johnson's Fast Break, which is correct. John says Magic Johnson something, which is close enough. And David says Double Dribble, which unfortunately is incorrect. The Magic Johnson game is the right one.
Why'd you choose this?
Well, my original plan was the soundtrack is sweet. I really like it, even though it's short, it's really good. And then I said, well, we probably don't have much to discuss for this, so I'll come with a lightning round. But then right before the show, John let me know that 1, he had a lightning round, and 2, it was the same lightning round I came up with. So that was way too late for me to get a new game, and now here we are.
Great minds, dude. Great minds.
So
what you're saying is that this game features Irvin Magic Johnson?
Yeah. So, let's just discuss every part of what we know about this game. John, tell me what you know about Magic Johnson.
He's an LA Lakers point guard. Or was.
You're correct.
This
is now the lightning round. We quiz John on what he knows about Magic Johnson.
He has A's, but he's doing okay.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh,
He doesn't anymore? Did he ever have it?
He is HIV positive, and he
HIV
has been
okay.
for quite some time.
Okay.
It's
He does
different.
not have AIDS.
Okay.
Different.
Okay.
Yeah. In your face, John. You failed this lightning round.
Yeah, tell me how my ass tastes.
Boom. Next lightning round. John, name another player who has played for the LA Lakers besides Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, or Shaquille O'Neal.
God damn it! I'm like, okay, yeah, I knew he was gonna rule out Johnson and Bryant, but okay, I got Shaq up my sleeve.
Yeah, when Jessie asks, tell you how your ass tastes. That's just what I got to do. I assume that goes straight to Shaq. Eliminated.
I have one. I actually know one.
All right, go David.
Good. David's coming in with a sports point. As he sips a beer to stall.
Yeah.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes. Going
Nice.
old school, man.
Who did Larry
I thought you
Bird
were going to give him a
play
jingle
for?
or something, John.
Oh,
Didn't
nope, that's not what I wanted.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Yes.
play there?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did play for the Lakers. John, you have to name a Lakers player now.
Larry
Tim
Bird?
Allen.
He was a Celtic.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
It's the most
They make
famous
Sega
Boston
games
Celtic of all
about
time.
Larry Bird.
The
Ugh.
Lakers
Yeah.
mascot?
They don't have a mascot. Their mascot's a lake.
Just bring out like a kiddie pool.
The obvious go-to fake answer is Jack Nicholson, and you're not even getting there, are you?
Okay, bonus point for John. Can you explain why they're the LA Lakers?
They moved from a place that's more famous for lakes.
Which would be
I'm gonna guess Salt Lake City?
Oh!
Or somewhere in Minnesota.
Yeah!
Hey!
big prominent city in Minnesota would be
St. Paul?
the other one.
Minneapolis.
Yes.
What's the
man.
difference between
John's
St. Paul
putting on a
and Minneapolis?
John's put on a tour de force for this, demonstrating all he knows about Magic Johnson and the LA Lakers.
And
So now the other part of the game,
also,
the fast break.
geography of the Midwest.
Yes. Now, is fast break? Where does it rank in your top list of favorite candy bars? The Reese's Fast Break.
No, it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd probably put it under an outrageous, but above a whatchamacallit.
Oh no,
Okay.
whatchamacallit? It's way better.
I mean, I don't know, man. Fast break's great. It's got Reese's peanut butter and some nougat, chocolatey stuff. Yeah, John, great job. I don't know, collaborating with us to come up with this choice of game, and then just not being able to adapt on the fly. Like this really is blown up in your face. Do you know anything regarding the actual game, Magic Johnson Fast Break? It's a basketball game on NES. That can't possibly be very good.
I did watch some gameplay footage, so it doesn't have any NBA teams. It just has 2 generic teams. Yeah, but it does support. It actually looked like to be a pretty fast-paced game. Like everyone was moving pretty quick, and it does support the NES 4 score, so you can do 4-player on this game.
Whoa, mind blowing.
Yeah,
Pretty advanced.
yeah.
Interesting. Literally until just now, I'd forgotten there was a multi-tap for the NES.
Yeah, we all.
But, wow. Well, cool Tim Follin soundtrack. I'm glad they got him for one, 2 2.25 songs.
Again, this was all going to be a lightning round, and that got taken away at the last second, so here I am.
I'm glad I said something because, God, we don't need your half-assed game and half-assed lightning round leading off the show.
Man, in a way, I kind of wish you wouldn't have said anything, and then we just had the lightning round. And
Yeah, do a lightning round anyway, and then later on, when I try to do the same lightning round, then the show really goes off the rails. But yeah, cool. Magic Johnson Fast Break. I want to go to Walgreens and buy myself a couple of Fast Breaks now. So, Johnny, let's keep going, man.
Game 2.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty weird. How's everybody feeling?
Confused.
I think I have a good guess. I feel like we've done this already.
Yeah, I've got to consult some spreadsheets here.
Yeah. So this is a fan request for tonight. This comes to us from frequent requester Dire Haunch Crow on Twitter. Thank you very much for the request. And I got a little bit of trivia to start us off, and maybe I'll push you in the right direction after the final song. Only one of the playable characters in this game has a known last name. So, how you guys feeling?
Real
Good.
confused.
More trivia?
Sure, please.
The advertisements for this game use the slogan, "This game stinks," which may or may not have contributed to the game's poor reception in America upon its release.
Because didn't it also come with like scratch and sniff ads or stickers?
It did. I remember those distinctly.
Okay, I got an answer.
Distinctly. Okay, let's see some answers. Jessie says Boogerman, which is sadly incorrect because Johnny and David both say Earthbound, which is correct.
All right.
I got it wrong.
Ching. Awesome, man. Yeah, Earthbound. Little game that wasn't particularly popular back in 1995, but
Incredibly popular now.
Yeah, remarkably popular, or seemed to be trending in the right direction starting around 2001. Or no, wait, 2000. Whenever Super Smash Bros. Came out, NES turned up. Everybody's like, wait a minute, who's that kid? Oh, he's a kid from Earthbound. I forgot Earthbound was the thing. We want it now. Where is it? Bring it back. I didn't. I obviously never played this when it first came out, but yeah, this game is pretty cool. Please tell me you guys have also played it.
I have not played it to completion, but I have played it.
I read about a lot of it in an issue of Nintendo Power way back when.
That's the same as playing it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like you feed
Jessie?
a monkey bubblegum and he floats, that's the only thing I remember.
Yeah. Things like that happen.
Don't at me. Or at me if you want, I don't care.
I was waiting for this.
So I've given this game several attempts, and it's just some kind of weird thing that's inside of my brain that I can't get past, where I just can't get into RPGs that have first-person battle systems. If I can't see my character actually attack the creature I'm fighting, it's like I'm not even there. At least in the first Final Fantasy, your character takes a step forward and waves a weapon, and then something happens to the enemy. But I can still see my fighter doing something. I know my fighter. I don't know how his sword is magically attacking this imp, but it's happening. I see it happening. But Earthbound, I just see a bunch of flashes of light and numbers, and I'm like, what's happening? That's why I couldn't get into Dragon Quest, because fucking those games are all first person, and they're just garbage. Just garbage. You can't see your characters fight. There's no character fighting. That's what you want to see in battle. You battle throughout most of the game, so you could at least get to see your character once in a while.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's a scorching hot take, man. And I don't fully disagree with you. I like being able to see my characters too. I think though part of the reason that the battle system being completely window based and you don't see your characters work so well in Earthbound is because it's very weird. All the descriptions of the things that happen in battle are very odd things. So nothing really moves. It's like, hey, look, it's this character, and it's a nice sprite artwork of the new age retro hippie or whoever you're fighting, and it just says new age retro hippie, did this. I'm struggling to come up with actions from the game off the top of my head, but if they attempted to animate any of this, it would be the biggest 16-bit game of all time. So it's all left to the imagination and the description, and it's I could see where it'd be a hang up for you, but I think the game is pretty great. So
I will say there's one thing they do that is cool, and that's if you're way too strong for a crappy enemy, then they'll just die automatically or they'll run away. That is a really cool thing that I think more RPGs should use. Everything else in Earthbound just flush down the toilet.
There it is. Dynamite hot take. No, that is actually one of my favorite parts of not really grinding, but just you can grind by going up to weak enemies and they literally try to run away from you and you just skip the whole battle and get the experience points. It's like, good. I don't want to fight, this whatever strutting mushroom again. Oh, look, I'm too strong for it. It's dead. Battle over. Keep on moving. So that's actually, that's a really good RPG innovation that more things should do. David, you look like you're waiting to drop in on this, man. What do you think?
No, I was going to say I enjoyed what I played of it. The battle system is kind of the one thing that I thought was really weird about it is your hit points are like a rolling counter. So if you get hit with a critical hit, it starts counting down. And if you can beat the enemy before it gets to 0, you don't die.
Yeah, not even beat the enemy, just
really
get it. You can get through the actions and get to a potion or something and save yourself from dying. It's really very important to the playing the game, because I feel like I got whomped a lot in that game. It's okay, great, took a serious critical hit. Luckily, I have 150 hit points to count down through, and thank God I didn't die. That's another cool system. I love it.
But I like the story. I like the idea. I like a modern RPG and kids with weird superpowers running around instead of knights and clerics and whatnot. I like the fact that you get a baseball bat as a weapon. I don't know why, but for some reason, when you get attacked by the strange alien monsters or the hippies or the fucking cult in the game, the idea of a kid running up and just bashing it with a baseball bat makes me laugh a lot.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I can see how that would be better animated. If these cartoony kids are just wailing on cultists with baseball bats and yo-yos, that would be pretty sweet. But it's like I said, man, there's so many actions in the game.
You can just read a book.
Yeah. Now the novelization of Earthbound might also be pretty dope.
Look, if they're gonna make you use your imagination, you may as well just go online and play a MUD. Okay.
Oh
God, we will not
go on the text-based adventure.
Yeah, we will not invoke MUDs on this show. But yeah, man, I don't know. I like the game a lot. I think it's pretty cool. The set, like David said, the setting's cool. I like the different towns. I like the introduction of different characters throughout. You play a good chunk of the game kind of, initially by yourself, and then they, feel like they introduce characters real late in this game. David, did you even get to the point where they introduced Pooh? There's a character named Pooh. There's a character named Pooh, and he's a kung fu master and shit. And I feel like you get him really late in the game. He shows up to save your ass with super overpowered moves. And I don't know. It's it's a cool game. Ness with his baseball bats and yo-yos. Paula's got psychic powers. Jeff, the only one with the last name, Ando Nuts, because his father is Dr. Ando Nuts, who invents things and shoots off bottle rockets and shit. And then Pooh, the kung fu master. Cute, weird characters and super weird fucking story, which, not going to go too deep into because I'm still anticipating one day in this country, they will release Mother 3 and then the full story can be told because, there's a surprising amount of carryover in surprising places between this game and Mother 3. It's cool stuff. Cool game. Really cool music. I think wasn't that a hang up for this being re-released for years? Didn't they just make 16-bit versions of a bunch of really licensed music?
Yeah, I seem to remember a lot of Beatles references. A lot of Beatles references.
Exactly. And the whenever they released it for America, I guess they changed it, but there's characters in this that are literally the Blues Brothers and they in the Japanese version it's two guys in black suits with fedoras, and then in the American version they at least changed it to a red and a green suit to make it look a little less copyright infringy. But there's a lot of tunes in this game, and a lot of them apparently were holding up the game from its re-release for a long time. So, yeah. I don't know if the Wii U eShop is even still a thing, but if it is, you should download it on that because they actually put a lot of work into the Wii U re-release of this game.
That's the last time I tried it out, and it was a pretty good version for $10 and stuff.
Yeah, it's $10, and it comes with like a PDF of the fucking wacky '90s players guide, which is super cool and loaded with weird clay pictures of all the characters and kind of necessary to get through the game because the game's confusing as shit. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry that it's not your cup of tea, Jessie. It's it's cool, but it's one of the only first-person like battle window RPGs that I've played. So maybe it's not my cup, or maybe games like that aren't my cup of tea either because I haven't been exactly seeking them out since now. So I don't know. Dope game though. Dope soundtrack. Here's hoping they eventually release some sequels to us filthy Americans. And John, give us 5 fast facts about Earthbound or move on to the next game.
All right. Fact 1.
Game 3.
Nice.
Awesome.
I like it.
Sweet.
Nice.
Super sweet.
All right. So for this game, if you enter the password Sea Monster, but the O is a 0, it will take the player to Planet X and will cause all monsters to spawn from the center of the playing board. You guys want some bonus trivia?
Ooh, yes.
Sure.
All right. At the password screen, if you enter "Destroy all monsters," activates a special mode where the 2 playable characters all fight the monsters at once on Earth.
Ooh.
Sweet.
All right, let's see them. Let's see. We got David with Godzilla. We got John with Godzilla. Oh god, and Johnny with Battle Chess. All right, the 2 Godzillas are correct. Battle Chess is incorrect.
Man, we're going in 2s tonight. I love it. No hat tricks.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Any of you guys play this game, Godzilla Monster of Monsters?
No.
I have not played it. I have seen videos of it, which is why I recognize that second song.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, when I was a kid, when we first got our NES, occasionally my dad, when he'd come home from work, he would bring an NES game that he rented for me. And I remember one time he rented this Godzilla game. And I was really stoked. I was like, oh my god, they made a Godzilla video game? And so I tried to play it, and for whatever reason, because when you rent games, often they don't have the manuals.
Oh, I love that.
I couldn't, go on the Game Facts and figure out what was up. So I had no idea how to play this game, and half the time I was stuck on that game board thing, and I didn't know what was going on. I was like, why can't I do Godzilla things? This is stupid, and I hated it, and I turned it off, and so I remember AVGN recently did a video about it, and he, like he does, he shits on games. And so I, just for fun, I was like, well, let me play this game again. And I tried playing it, and it's really not terrible. Like, there's some things that kind of are annoying. Like, there's this one squid boss that if you fight him as Mothra, then like he can corner you, and you just have to wait until he goes away, and it's really annoying.
Wait, you can play as Mothra too?
Yeah, you play as Godzilla and Mothra, and so like there's like this game board that you move around, and whenever you end your turn, if you're on like a space with like a mountain on it, then you fight like those big satellite dishes that shoot stuff, and tanks and all these airplanes and stuff. And
Sweet.
And if you're Mothra, you're flying and shooting and dropping like these like wing things on people. And if you're Godzilla, you get a punch, headbutt, swing your tail, kick, and of course the atomic breath. And it's awesome. Like it's kind of fun. It's kind of hard because you can get swarmed with enemies and stuff. And if you're not picking up health, you can die. But at the same time, Godzilla does move kind of clunky and slow, but that's how he does in the movies. So like, some of the controlling, not being as responsive, I just figure that's the extra kaiju touch. Those guys in those suits moved around a little slow, and it was kind of tough for them to jump around. And so you expect this NES game to just start making these giant monsters jump around all like agile and stuff? No, you're going to be clunky and running into stuff. So I think this might be the most perfect video game ever, because it fully captures the spirit of a Godzilla film. Because another thing with Godzilla films is they're only really fun at the last 20 minutes when the monsters actually fight.
Oh yeah.
Like, unless you're watching with a bunch of friends, like if you like, I'm gonna sit down and watch a Godzilla movie by myself. Unless you're like super duper into that, all that talky stuff I just want to see Godzilla. I want to see Megalon. I want to see Jet Jaguar. I do not want to see this little kid riding around on a motorcycle. No, he's not blowing up buildings.
King Ghidorah. I want King Ghidorah in all things.
Yeah. Mecha Godzilla. Come on.
Yeah.
Even some Rodan. I'm not that picky. Just give me another monster.
Will Gamera?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I was kind of cracking up a little bit myself with just when Jessie said, another thing with Godzilla films is
He's getting up on that Godzilla soapbox for the week. It's true though. If you ever try to watch a Godzilla movie, like there were a couple times where it's like, yeah, dude, let's watch this Godzilla movie, and it's like, oh yeah, the first hour of this really sucks. Like,
Yeah.
so,
That's why I love Godzilla Final Wars, because like amongst all of the monsters fighting, all of the humans are fighting. Like there's like tactical army people like fighting some ancient kung fu people. Like there's just tons of hand-to-hand combat, and then they cut back to monsters fighting. Like
See,
that
that's
really
perfect.
makes no sense, but it's awesome.
yeah, not
That
important.
sounds amazing.
But yeah, I was thinking like, nowadays if you want to watch, if you're gonna go into like a Godzilla movie with friends, you spend the first hour just kind of chit chatting and getting drunk or stoned, and then by the last 30 minutes of it, you're in the zone, like you're ready for the real Godzilla shit.
The main event.
But yeah, man, no, I never played this. I didn't even know this existed. This sounds pretty dope, though. I mean, I'm looking at it now. It's got a bunch of other Godzilla monsters that you get to fight.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
King
Like,
Ghidorah on Planet X. Like, yeah. Love it. Ugh.
I will say though that Godzilla Destroy All Monsters on GameCube is like one of the best Godzilla games.
Yeah, I played that. I rented that once. That was pretty fun. Like, wasn't that just a straight up Godzilla fighting game? Like,
pretty much, and you just like blow up buildings and stuff, and it was like kind of like King of Monsters if you remember those old games.
Right. How do these compare to like Rampage? Rampage is something completely different, right?
When I was a kid, I always thought this Godzilla game was going to be like Rampage, but better because it had Godzilla in it. Nope.
Yeah, it's the real deal.
It was way more in depth. When you're a kid, you just want to blow stuff up. You don't want to learn about this stupid board game thing.
Let's talk about the real, deep like strategy of being Godzilla. No, let's go and just wreck buildings and wreck monsters.
I want to eat a dude sitting on the toilet. I want to step on cop cars and punch my wolf friend in the face.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go play Rampage.
Yeah, exactly. Good to know about this game, though, man. I kind of want to go play it now.
Yeah, it's not bad. If you're itching to play an old NES game that it's not perfect but has cool sprites and your Godzilla blowing shit up, then it's definitely people should check it out.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
the
say,
music is pretty good.
Doesn't have to be perfect. Got decent tunes, and it's Godzilla blowing shit up. I mean, if you have higher standards than that for your NES games, you're doing it all wrong. It looks like the perfect NES game to me. If I had known to rent this as a kid, I would have done it. But cool. Anything else? Anybody on Godzilla for NES or Godzilla in general? David, you look like you're itching. You love kaijus.
I do love kaijus. I just remember being very thrown off on this game that it's like, because you have like Godzilla and the monster, like kind of Street Fighter style, like sideways perspectives, like, okay. And then it cuts to that like weird hexagon map thing. It's like, why is there a strategy element in Godzilla? It does not need to exist.
Not necessary. I'll give you Godzilla's strategy. It's knock shit over and use atomic breath. Like, nice thinking, game developer. Save it for a different game. Fuck yeah, man. Johnny, what do we got coming next?
Game 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a happy little song.
Very cheery.
Yeah. Cool.
That is a little more recognizable.
It's definitely not quite as happy as the first song.
Indeed.
So, who would like some trivia for this game?
Please.
Oh, yeah.
One of the enemy characters, the official art in the manual, in both the American and Japanese version, is shown topless with bare breasts and nipples.
Explains so much about why you love this game.
Follow-up to the trivia. This game is not Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, shit. I gotta write down a new thing.
I mean...
God damn it.
That makes so much more sense given that the theme is games that came out on the NES and SNES. Like, I forgot.
Talking about nipples, Mario Odyssey is bound to come up.
Yeah.
Dude, I love it. Any game with some nipple play.
So let's see some answers.
Could we have a hat trick?
We've got a hat trick. Everybody
All right.
Hell yeah. David, say it again, not during the jingle.
Everybody guesses Kid Icarus.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second I hear the term hat trick, I hit the button.
Johnny's real itchy on that hat trick button, and sometimes he plays the right time.
You said it.
Why aren't you this good when we say space?
Space!
Whoa!
Don't even start. Oh yeah, your prowess on the soundboard tonight just makes me want to grunt. Nope, nothing for that.
Damn it.
What did you think I was referring to?
No, I was going to play a different
This
sound.
makes
I
me
forgot.
want to grunt. Spice!
What?
When I play Kid Icarus, the first thing I think is that we need more power.
Space!
Forget it. Oh, man. So, David, I know this is one of your series, so go nuts.
I'm just happy that I finally hit every game in the series. Like, I did it. I got them all.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't too hard, though, right?
No.
Only three.
Kind of spread out. That's really all needs to be said. Johnny, take us to the next.
He's my third favorite character in Captain Anarchus.
Ooh.
See, I was hoping that we would be able to go through this whole discussion without bringing up Captain and the Game Master.
Really?
But alas.
I was going to say, you don't know this podcast very well after all these episodes, do you? We bring that up anytime we can.
That was quite naivicus.
Whoa. You've got Jessie on a real kick now. I'm just going to keep eating. You just get Jessie talking.
I got to clean my monitor now.
Come on,
Those are some-
Eggplant Wizard was amazing.
Those are some mega strong comments you have.
All the brain.
you're gonna try to goad me into doing the Mother Brain imitation. Anyhow, Kid Icarus on NES.
Do it, bro. You're great at it.
God damn it.
What happens in Kid Icarus when you go into the same room as Mother Brain? What is Mother Brain supposed to say in that situation?
Mother Brain isn't in Kid Icarus.
Come on, man. I'm setting you up, man. Oh, yeah, that one. Super hardcore Mother Brain. Whew.
When Mother Brain, covers herself in organic steel and becomes super strong for a brief period.
Dude, would play. That needs to be in the next Kid Icarus. It needs to be like a, Kid Icarus Dimensions where he goes between the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Metroid Universe, and the final boss is Colossus Mother Brain.
Mother Brain.
Would play.
Man, a Captain Endgame would be so cool.
Yeah, that's true.
But Kid Icarus, that is a game on the NES, and it's a very fun game. I don't think it holds up quite as well as others, but I still really, really like it. And I think the thing that kills it is actually something that I think is really cool about this game, in that it kind of has a reverse difficulty curve. Like most games start off easy and get harder and harder and harder, but this game starts off pretty hard, and the more you go, the easier it gets. And apparently, I was reading about this, because this game, it's like an action platforming game, but it has RPG elements, but nobody knew about it on the NES. You get health increases the more enemies you defeat, but nowhere in the game does it tell you that. So most people, yeah, like me, I just kind of those, the Grim Reapers that summon all the little flying guys at you. I hate those. I'm just going to skip them. But it actually is better for you to attack and kill every enemy in the game. And the whole way that the game starts out is you're trying to fight Medusa, and you have to get the ancient treasures to fight her. So you start off in the underworld where Medusa's from. So it makes sense that everything is ridiculously difficult because all of her henchmen are there. And then the final level is the Sky Temple where Palutena is, and you have all of your gear. So it's you're super powerful. You're in your home turf. It's the easiest final level on the NES. It's ridiculous.
Huh.
That might explain so much of why I never got deep into this game and sucked at it. Because I played this once or twice and was discouraged as shit both times. It's just old school difficult. I just didn't stick with it long enough, I guess.
Yeah, the game, that first world is hard as hell. And then also something that I thought was cool is the first and third worlds are vertical, and then the second and fourth are horizontal, because the whole idea is you climb out of the underworld, through the overworld, up through the sky, and then you're in the last temple.
Nice.
There's a lot of tiny little details like that about how they kind of tell the story through the game that I think are really cool. But some of those RPG things that they don't explain, and the difficulty curve, it's kind of hard to go back to today, but it's still a cool game.
Yeah. Awesome.
And it's also got a really good soundtrack. Most of the songs are very, very, very recognizable, so I had to pull some of the other ones from it. But still, it's a really good soundtrack.
Does that get a shout out to composer Hip Tanaka, I believe?
It does get a shout out to Hip Tanaka.
Fuck yeah, man. Another Hip Tanaka classic. Yeah, man, I've said all I can say about it. I like I said, severely discouraged by the game's difficulty. I'd like to see more Kid Icarus games now.
I just want to use the phrase Benjamin Button difficulty curve, and that's all I have to say. I'm done.
Couldn't work it in organically, so I figured I'd just kind of do it over here as a non sequitur. Classic Johnny.
Speaking of smooth transitions, it's kind of like this Benjamin Button difficulty curve. I'm out.
Yeah. Boom. Done.
Game 5.
nice.
I like
Pleasant.
that.
God, it sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good.
I would venture to say very good.
Yeah. Who wants some trivia?
Yes.
Ooh,
Give
yeah.
it to David and Jessie, but don't give it to me.
Perfect. John, mute yourself. So this game's developer originally announced that the game would be released on both the NES and the SNES, but the NES version was canceled. A prototype cartridge of the NES version was discovered in August of 2017.
Oh.
Sweet. So,
Yeah.
who's feeling good on that one?
I'm actually feeling really good.
I feel pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
Then,
I hope I remembered this correctly.
I hope so. Let's see it. Oh man, we got another hat trick, baby. It's SimCity.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. SimCity SNES style. My preferred way of playing SimCity, quite frankly. You know, SimCity 2000, pretty good, but SimCity on the SNES, just so damn charming. Like, just so fun.
My experience
as
with
fun as
SimCity
a city building game can be, quite frankly.
My experience with SimCity 2000 was like, you have to build sewer and pipes and shit. Fuck this. Like, I'm out.
Exactly. I like the surface, and that's it, man.
Yeah.
I spent far too much time in SimCity 2000 laying intricate, like, pipe systems. You just reminded me of that. It's like, oh yeah, I did spend a lot of time building pipes.
Yeah.
And what good does it do you? None of that shit in SimCity for the SNES, though, man. Who here played this one? Which,
Me.
Yeah,
sweet, good.
I played a little
And
bit.
David, Mr. SNES that he is, obviously, is taking the opportunity to cough through a question.
It's just I played so much of this game I got sick. So
yeah. There it is. Just overflowing with enthusiasm for the SNES and this game. Which, quite frankly, I feel like this should have been on the SNES Classic. This one is so just like, for me, tied to the SNES. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so good, and it's got little Nintendo bits in it. It's not just like some straight port of SimCity or SimCity 2000 or whatever. It's it's got that cute little green-haired guy that tells you how your city's doing and freaks out when everything's on fire.
Can't you summon Bowser as a giant monster to destroy your city?
Yes, I call that the I'm a child and I've gotten kind of bored with the game mode.
Yeah.
You can just drop down that disaster menu and boom, Bowser's attacking your city. It's awesome. I love that touch. Like, seriously, I never understood as a kid. Like, I was always having fun with the game, and then at some point, my brain just flipped into, I should destroy everything. Like, let's just hit all the disasters. Tornado, fire, blackouts, Bowser attack, earthquake. Yep. Look at that. All my progress is gone. I'll just start a new city because I know that $999 code to build everything I want in the city. Like,
the code.
I don't remember how to do it these days. I feel like it's like you hold L and go into your budget screen, and then you drop everything. You spend all your money, and then you go back to your budget, and you make everybody give you money, and somehow you end up with $1 million. But I don't know that I ever played very much of this game without having that code on. I'm not interested in the actual budgeting of building a city. I just want to build a big city.
That stuff's hard.
Yeah, man. This game came out in 1991. I was 6. I don't know anything about budgets.
Are you sure that was a cheat code, or were you just like laundering money? Because that sounds a lot like some kind of money laundering operation.
I am an accountant now, and that sounds a lot like what I do at work every single day. Oh man, yeah, just cook them.
The money laundering or the summoning Bowser to destroy things you don't like?
See, both, quite frankly. Yeah. I picture myself as Bowser destroying the company because I secretly hate my job. And I'm also cheating to get $1 million to do everything I want, which is why I still work a menial job. That's what I do. But yeah, man, the game was, pretty fun, pretty cute. You got to build, fun, weird little buildings. I loved like rereading about all the things. I'm like, oh yeah, after you get a certain number of people in your town, you get to build the mayor's house. And I was always like, oh, that's my house. That's nice. Which it's like the only thing that never gets any nicer. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that's okay. Building a fucking metropolis and suddenly it's surrounding just a mediocre mayor's house. Like, I think I deserve a little better than that. And then
the mayor should be more worried about the town, not his own.
Yeah.
Not the way I run my city, son.
I run my city for me.
Yeah. I'm the star of this town.
This is why we're not given positions of actual power.
Exactly.
Look at the name of this town, Johnville. What do you think this city's about?
Good old Stankton. But yeah, I like that you get eventually the choice of an amusement park or a casino. I feel like I always went amusement park just because it had Ferris wheels and it made fun noises. But I love the benefits. Like amusement park, you get $100 towards your town's annual income, and the casino, you get more money towards your annual income, but also the crime rate in the town increases. Like, oh, I forgot about consequences of things. Like, I didn't pay attention to the crime rate. Like, there's too much going on here. I just want to build cute buildings and crazy elaborate road things, and then make Bowser destroy everything. Like, it's Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. There are also like scenarios in the game you could load up where you had to like save things. Like it's like save Boston from a meltdown or save Tokyo from a Bowser attack. Like I never got good at any of that.
That's hard.
I just love the idea of like you as like a 6 or 7-year-old kid playing this. Like, this is really fun. I'm gonna like map out my city and I've got all my sewers and I'm gonna build an amusement park. Okay, I'm bored. Destroy it all.
Exactly. Pretty much. That's literally almost every time I played this game. Like, got my casino built. That means I've got a town of 5,000 or something. It's time to destroy this motherfucker. Like, this town's getting a little too big for its old britches. Like, I'm gonna need a Bowser attack. There it is, the Bowser attack sound. Sound the Bowser alarm. And yeah, the little green-haired guy runs in. He's like, there's a fucking Bowser attack going on. You want to maybe do something about that?
I always love a ROM hack where that's what he actually says.
Yeah, motherfucker, help! There's a Bowser attack happening.
I also love it's like, hey, there's a fire going on in the town. Hey, the crime rate is rising. Dude, there's a fucking Bowser. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Don't forget that guy who's always constantly bitching about the roads.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I just always remember ignoring all those messages. Like, oh, there's blackouts. Build more power plants. No.
Or music works.
You need a new fire station. No, I don't.
I need more casinos.
Yeah. The citizens demand a rail system. No, they don't.
They demand a red light district.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, that's I think that's what the info was. Yeah, you get nothing but stadiums, casinos, and industrial expos. It's the nastiest town in the world.
Detroit.
The citizens are demanding better roads. This is Johnville. Hey John, do you want roads? Why no, John, I don't. All right, problem solved.
Exactly. Nah. I kind of want to do it now.
We don't need roads.
Oh man, I kind of want to play it again now and just build like one really crappy like residential district and then just like surround it with like a dystopian industrial thing. Like, just trap these people in this just stank, smoggy metropolis of SimCity on SNES. Like, I think I should do that. I think I gotta bust this back out.
Yeah,
because
it's like you have an entire residential district and every person has their own factory.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 6 houses, 20 factories.
Can't have it. The residents demand commercial districts to go shopping in. No, they don't. They can go to work. Okay, now I got it perfect. It's going to be just like 9 blocks of residents surrounded by roads and then surrounded by industrial districts. End of city. That's it.
The name of the save file, full communism.
Yeah. If you want a road out of this dystopian place, we're going to need to grow these factories, people. But yeah, man, SimCity was dope. Good music, good SNES launch game. And it's crazy. It's crazy that it was coming out for the NES and they canceled it. And somehow this year, someone found a cartridge of it and got to play it. Like,
that's so bananas that we can still find unreleased games. Like, that's so crazy and so cool.
Like it's really cool because
and not even like
literally no one had ever played.
Yeah,
it's fascinating, really. But yeah, so SimCity SNES pretty good. Man, I feel like we're running ahead of time tonight, man. We've covered 5 games, and the time it usually takes us to cover 4. Johnny, I think we're gonna have to crack into it, man. What do you think about a bonus game on tonight's show?
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds great.
I declare bonus game. Yeah. pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is our bonus game request for the evening. Decided to throw some extra stuff in there. This one comes to us via Twitter from a fellow nerdy podcast, the No Time for Time Travel podcast at NTFTT Pod on Twitter. And this game's full title contains the names of 2 different series of Capcom games and bears little resemblance to either namesake.
I did not know there was more to this game's name.
Oh yeah, learning things. Anyone want any additional trivia?
I got it.
Yeah.
Good. It's really just a name guessing thing at this point.
Yeah. All right.
So let's see some answers. John Regan with the absolute wrong answer, Excite Pack 64. And David and Jessie both with the correct answer, Street Fighter 2010. Jessie, more complete. Street Fighter 2010, The Final Fight. Yeah, that's really something.
This game's weird as hell.
Yes, it is, because it ain't Street Fighter and it ain't Final Fight. Like, it's not either of those things.
Well, it's not quite Street Fighter, and it's not quite Final Fight, but Final Fight. But man, put them together. To answer your question, I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Oh man, yeah. No, I was just happy to get like a super out there request. I'm like, oh yeah, Street Fighter 2010. Wasn't that like the weird futuristic Street Fighter for SNES? No, that's not at all what this is. That's not a thing at all. Like, this is something that I had no idea what it was. It's like a platforming game where you're beating things up, and it's the future. And for some reason, it's called Street Fighter. Like, it's yeah. I don't know. I feel like Capcom had to be working on this before they really had any idea what they were doing with the Street Fighter series, because like it was going to be a spin-off of the first Street Fighter, but like a futuristic space spin-off of the first Street Fighter.
Space.
Thank you. And
Because they did that, like Final Fight was supposed to be the sequel to Street Fighter. And then they're like, no, you can't do that. You need to make something else. And I kind of feel like Capcom realized, okay, we've trademarked the name Street Fighter. That's a good name that covers a lot of bases. What can we do with it?
Yeah, you know what it doesn't cover is interplanetary travel, like beat 'em ups. Like nothing about this game says Street Fighter to me. Like you're a guy jumping around different planets, shooting beams out of your arms and climbing shit. Like I don't know if there's even a street in this game. Like the levels are planets. Like it's very odd. And it's like I said, it's also not Final Fight. Like you get to beat stuff up, but where's the rotisserie chicken? Where's the mustache? Where's the knives and the wrestling references? There's none of that. Like I'm so glad that Capcom didn't blow these two good names on this game.
Oh, okay. I was just looking it up now. Apparently in the Japanese version, the main character is some guy named Kevin. But in the English version, the main character is supposed to be Ken from Street Fighter.
Oh, yes. I was building to that as the final tie-in to Street Fighter. Like in America, they're like, oh, we need to tie this into Street Fighter. Make him Ken. Like, what? No.
Are you sure?
Do you really want to do that? Like, I love like the plot synopsis when you're reading it, thinking about Ken from Street Fighter. Like in 2010, Ken has retired from his fighting career after winning the Street Fighter circuit 25 years before, and has become a gifted scientist, developing a new substance called cyboplasm that grants superhuman strength. Like, nope, this is not the story I want for Ken from Street Fighter, like, at all.
Go home to your family, man.
Yeah, it's just so funny thinking about, like, what is Ken's story in Street Fighter? He's American Ryu, and he's the one with
married, doesn't he?
Exactly, he's the one eventually with a wife. Like. So yeah, I also love that it's like super futuristic with like interdimensional planetary travel, and it takes place in 2010 and was released in like 1990. Like they had high hopes for this. Like, 2010 is pretty far in the future. We'll be traveling between planets using portals by then, right? Right. Like.
That's such a specific year. Like, I feel like maybe they meant to do 2100 and just fucked up and like typoed it into 2010.
That would be pretty great.
2100 is a way more reasonable year for this kind of space travel crap.
Yep. Yeah. And also it's also I just was clued in via the chat. Yeah, part of the plot is that Ken's lab partner is murdered and turned into a pile of goo. It would be really great if that was Ryu, like futuristic super scientist Ryu, murdered and turned into a pile of goo.
Super scientist Ryu. Oh, that has got to be a TV show.
Oh gosh, yeah. Like now that we joke about this, I kind of wish this was the direction Street Fighter went. Like, why aren't these like alternate costumes for the like,
Street Fighter 5? That's for sure.
Super futuristic Street Fighter characters, and when you beat Ryu, he turns into a pile of goo. I would love it.
It would be awesome if like Street Fighter 2010 5, like that like 5th sequel of Street Fighter 2010 as the series continues just features like all of the Street Fighter characters as like cybernetic bosses. Like Ryu is made of nanomachines, so he's like Black Goo Ryu, and there's like Cyber E Honda.
Yes, E Honda's just like a tank.
It's just like Honda's top half on like tank tread bottom half.
Yeah, dude, I'm into it.
You got me thinking of a future Street Fighter game where they add some Street Fighter 2010 costumes to the characters. So, like, one of Ryu's alternate costumes is a pile of goo.
Right. It's really gooey Ryu.
If we also eventually you fight Chun-Li, but she has cybernetic legs, and that explains why she kicks so damn fast.
Yeah, she literally flies around like a helicopter using her legs.
She is
a
helicopter.
She is just a helicopter. Oh shit. But yeah, man, so like when I was looking this up, I thought, I'm like, so yeah, this has got to be like the NES sequel to Street Fighter 2 with the weird futuristic things. And it got me thinking that, like, oh man, they came out with a Street Fighter game for SNES and then unmade it and made some weird thing for NES, but that wasn't the case at all. But regardless, it informed my picks for tonight's lightning round.
Lightning round.
Yeah. So guys, I'm gonna need you to get two things ready. I'm gonna need you to write down NES, and I'm gonna need you to write down SNES. And this is gonna be an everybody plays lightning round. So I've got a list. Does that include
you? Because that's kind of cheating. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. This is how I'm gonna win the game, David. So I've got a list of 15 games. 15 games that were released for both the NES and the SNES. Mostly licensed games, not a lot of good games, but some real interesting games. And the challenge on tonight's lightning round is you've got to tell me which system they came out for first.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we're just going to randomize it up, and we're going to start with Battletoads and Double Dragon. Which came first, NES or SNES? And you can say it when you hold it up.
Oh, Super Nintendo.
SNES.
All three of you say SNES, and you're all incorrect. It came out for the NES in June of 1993, and for the SNES in December of 1993.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to be cutting it that close, because a lot of these games came out in 1993. The next one on the list, the fantastic classic, The Addams Family, Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt.
I'm going to say Super Nintendo.
I'm going to say NES.
Jessie also says NES. Johnny's correct. It came out on the Super NES in February of 93 and on the NES in August of 93. Nice job, John.
Yeah.
You're going to say SNES for all of them, aren't you?
God damn,
Don't do it, John. Bro, I would so DQ the shit out of you if I realized that was going on. Thank you, David. Next one, Batman Returns.
I'm going to say NES on that one.
Yeah, okay. Throw me off the scent, huh?
SNES.
Let's see. We got NES from Johnny, NES from David, SNES from Jessie. It came out for the NES in January of 1993 and in April of 1993 for the SNES. So points for Johnny and David. Yeah.
The SNES is like a different game and a much better one.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, these aren't all necessarily the same game, but they definitely have the same name and came out for both systems. So the next one, a little fondly remembered game called Joe and Mac.
I'm gonna say Super Nintendo.
I'm going to say Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo from David, Super Nintendo from Johnny, Super Nintendo from Jessie. All three are correct. Came out in 1992, January on the SNES, and December for the NES. And let's see, the next one, moving right along. You're doing pretty good so far, guys. Oh, this is the all-time classic, one of the best-selling games of all time, Lemmings.
Ooh.
I feel like that had to have come out for the NES first.
I'm gonna say
Oh,
Super
David
NES.
says NES. The other guys say Super NES, and they are correct. It came out in March of '92 for the Super NES, and later that year in November for the NES. Nice job, guys. Moving along, the fantastic, terrible classic, American Gladiators.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yes.
say NES.
That had to have come out for the NES first.
That's an NES hat trick on that one, guys. It came out in October of '91 for the NES, and not until June of '92 for the SNES. So,
That
good
game's
job.
terrible.
Yeah, no, it's fucking awful. Oh man. So the next one on the list, fantastic movie tie-in, Lethal Weapon.
Ooh,
I will say this is a game that says Lethal Weapon, but it's primarily based on Lethal Weapon 3.
I'm gonna say Super
NES.
NES.
David and John both say Super NES. Jessie says NES. It came out in 1992 for the Super NES and April of 93 for the shit, did I say that right? December of 92 for the SNES and April of 93 for the NES. So David and John are correct.
All right.
Oh, jeez. Too much scorekeeping. I never should have let you all play at once. The next one, Micro Machines.
I'm gonna say
I'm saying NES.
NES.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an NES hat trick. It came out in 1991 for the NES and 1994 for the SNES.
God, we're all really good at this.
Yeah, you guys are fantastic. The next one on the list, the fantastic tie-in, James Bond Jr.
Ugh.
Feel gross just saying that.
Ugh.
SNES.
I've
Yeah.
never wanted to kick someone off the show before, but
It came out for the NES in September of 1991 and the SNES in October of 1992. And fun fact, the show was canceled in March of 1992. So maybe they shouldn't have bothered with the SNES version. And all three of you said SNES, and you're wrong. The next one, Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
oh man,
I'm gonna say Super NES.
I'm gonna say NES.
Oh man.
SNES.
So that's two SNESs and NES. It came out in February of 1992 for the NES, November of 1993 for the SNES, and the T2 arcade game came out in February of 1994 for the SNES. So definitively NES first. Oh man. Yeah. Are you sensing the theme of like really great classic games? You know, we just got some gems for both these systems. The next one, Mario is Missing.
SNES.
Confident answer from David.
Yeah,
SNES.
I'll say SNES.
Confidence from everybody. This is one of the closest margins. SNES, June 1993. NES, July 1993. It was first on the SNES.
Man,
Yeah, because I remember like
Bother.
freaking out because they had an 8-bit Yoshi sprite for the NES version, and it's like one of the only times Yoshi was on the NES.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Cool.
This next one, near and dear to my heart, Disney's Aladdin.
There was an NES version of
There was an
that?
NES version.
No way, that came out first, so that had to have been a later port. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
SNES.
Super Nintendo.
You're all correct. It's the Super Nintendo. So the Capcom version comes out for Super Nintendo in November of 1993, and later on, in December of 1994, an NES port of the Virgin Interactive Aladdin game, the one for Genesis, for some reason, comes to be. Like, there's no way that's good.
What month in 1994? Did you say December?
Yeah, like really
Jesus.
pushing it on necessary releases.
That's not pushing it. That's like it's been pushed.
It's all the way out.
It's amazing to think we're talking NES games released in December of 94, and the N64 came out in 96.
Yeah, it was not far away. And yeah, nobody was asking for an NES version of the Genesis version of an NES version of the Genesis version of Aladdin.
When did the Virtual Boy come out? I can't imagine. It's so crazy to think.
Like 94.
Yeah, it's crazy to think NES games are coming out and the Virtual Boy was out.
Yeah. Okay, so we're down to the final three. Game That Tune classic, Yoshi's Cookie.
I'm gonna say
yes.
All three of you said NES, and you're all correct.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Man.
Came out in April of 93 for the NES and June of 93 for the SNES.
That's still my favorite calculating computer.
Yeah.
Johnny, let that inform your calculating computer choice for the night.
Do you know what number computer that is? Because they all have numbers. I don't know what any are.
Oh, no, I have no idea.
Yeah, I really got to relabel
find
these
out
things.
in just a moment.
Anyway, the next game, Jurassic Park.
There's an NES Jurassic Park?
I'm going to say Super NES. Yeah, we played that game on the...
It's got a good soundtrack because it's been used on Game That Tune before. Johnny and David both say SNES. Jesse says NES, and he's correct. It's June of 93 for the NES, November for the SNES. They got that NES version out like right next to the release. Good for them.
Quick tangent, Johnny. It's Computer 5.
All right.
Excellent. And the final game, this one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters.
That had to be Super Nintendo first.
Yeah, I'm going to say Super Nintendo too.
SNES.
That's a hat trick for the SNES. December of 93 for the SNES and February of 1994 for the NES. So good job, guys. Great lightning round.
That's a cool
that was fun.
It's just so funny to think that they were bothering releasing games for both these systems at the same time. Just the same way that it's funny now that there's still games that come out on the Wii. Why?
Well, there are PS2 games coming out until just a year or two ago, I think.
Yeah, no, I was looking at Black Friday deals recently, and there's deals on Just Dance 2018 for the Wii. I'm like, what? Oh yeah, they did sell 100-something million of those, so I guess you could still make a game for it.
That's people sitting there talking about, it's why are they releasing games for the Switch and the 3DS? Who's going to get the 3DS version? They were making NES versions of Super NES games in 94.
I didn't keep a very good count of who got the most, but going down the list, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different hat tricks. And then it looks like Johnny got more than anybody. So Johnny wins that lightning round.
Hell yeah. 1 point for me.
Yeah. Bonus point for Johnny. And I say we go into the calculating computer, my friend.
All right.
Calculating computer activated.
I'm just trying to say that Yoshi's Cookie is pretty good and you match cookies. Can I say that? Can I? No? Fuck, man.
Scoring complete. This game's winner is... David Fleming.
Yeah.
Good job.
Technically, after the lightning round, we had a 3-way tie for first. But yeah, it's a David win, man.
Hooray!
Hooray. So, great game tonight, David. Just all around fun game. Lots of good games, couple of good requests. I stole John's lightning round without realizing it, and that went off pretty well. So all around good show. Great start to Nintendovember, man. So I was thinking, David, how do you want to keep it going for Nintendovember?
One thing I want to point out for Nintendovember is we only have one more week of Nintendovember, because after that, I go home to get married. So
who says we're not recording during your wedding?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, literally, vows and everything. Just set up,
Yeah, it's not complicated, John. We will be recording.
Hurry up there! Go to the next game.
Exactly. Space.
I was gonna say, it's do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?
What? Oh God, Fernet Branca. But
John,
do you have anything in mind,
John
David?
does a toast with his Bane tube.
Oh, I will. I absolutely will.
Well, see, I'm kind of undecided because part of me wants to continue the trend and next week do games from the N64 and GameCube. But John brings up a good point about like I might want to do something different and open it up and just do games that are made by Nintendo. And I'm kind of undecided on which one to do because we've also used a lot of N64 games.
We have indeed. Alternatively, I was also going to throw out perhaps next week handhelds from Nintendo.
Ooh.
So, David, you got three great themes just staring you in the face, man. You got to pick one.
I like the idea of handhelds from Nintendo. And let's just open everything up. Games for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, and just for fun, Virtual Boy and Switch.
I'll take it. Yeah. Is the Virtual Boy technically a handheld? Like, I feel like it was more of a sit-on pedestal.
I don't think it's portable at all. I'm pretty sure it did not run on batteries, and they had to plug it into a wall.
David would know. He's the guy that owns it.
You can probably strap it to your head and rig up a battery pack. That's probably doable, but
I would just sleep with it on. You know, like.
I mean, I do have a portable case to carry it with, which is about the size of a bowling ball bag.
God.
Yeah, it's huge.
Awesome. Well, fuck yeah, man. Cool. Nintendo handhelds next week. Fantastic theme. Fantastic continuation of Nintendovember. And yeah, great game tonight, guys. Thanks for everything. Thank you to our viewers who watched along with us live every week, live on twitch.tv/GameThatTune, youtube.com/GameThatTune, facebook.com/GameThatTune. You know, we had so much great chatter in the chat. You know, we were getting requests. We were, you know, just learning things from our viewers. Thanks for being there. We really appreciate it. And thanks to everybody that listens in podcast form. Our podcasts come out on Wednesday mornings. You can find us on iTunes or at GameThatTune.com or wherever you get your podcasts. We are all over the place. And speaking of places that we are all over patreon.com/GameThatTune. It's the home for fun exclusives like our mixtapes and our free play jingles and our DK raps, our GTT raps. And yeah, you should check us out. You unlock a lot of fun stuff by contributing to the show, and you help us upgrade our equipment and have a lot of fun. And if you contribute enough money, you get thanked on the stream like these guys, our Patreon super fan tier producers, Alex Messenger, Lance Revere, and Andrew Oliver. You guys are great, and thank you for all you've done for the show. And then, yeah, we got a couple of great requests for the night. Thanks again for our requests. And if you want to hit us up with a request, find us on Twitter at GameThatTune or shoot us an email, GameThatTune@gmail.com. And yeah, we love taking requests. And we love just, blowing the shows up and doing more games than we're used to by getting too many requests. That's what I've been doing lately, and I've been really enjoying it. So thanks for that. Again, follow us along on Twitter, Twitter at GameThatTune. You can follow me on Twitter at JGangsta187. Follow John Regan on Twitter at
JPReganJR.
You can follow Jessie Moore on Twitter at. And you can follow David Fleming on Twitter at
EFD Fleming.
Hell yeah. So, David, you've won it. It's your bonus tunes taking us home. What do you got for us?
My game was the NES Kid Icarus game. You know exactly what I pulled for bonus music. This is Veridi, Goddess of Nature from Kid Icarus Uprising.
Yeah. Magic Johnson's Fast Break is copyright 1988 Arcadia Systems and Trade West. Earthbound is copyright 1995 Nintendo of America Incorporated. Godzilla Monster of Monsters is copyright 1989 Toho Company Limited. Kid Icarus is copyright 1986 Nintendo of America Incorporated. Sim City is copyright 1991 Nintendo of America Incorporated. Street Fighter 2010 The Final Fight is copyright 1990 Capcom Company Limited.